Well, hey guys, Jake from GD Honey Acres here, and I'm not doing an inspection today. I'm going to show you guys what how we set up our hives. So let's get into this. Let's take a look. I'm going to show you exactly each piece we did, and hopefully you'll be more prepared. Do the waggle dance. Waggle, 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 waggle. Man, she's gorgeous. Guys, we found our queen.
Finally.
See that? Alright, let's start off by first taking our ratchet strap off. What the ratchet strap is used is basically just to make sure that everything stays in one spot. You have your telescoping cover, which normally if your hive is rocking and rolling, your inner cover will be right underneath of that, just like that. Now this inner cover, the way I designed it, I cut the hole to where it's just smaller than a quart-sized mason jar wide mouth lid, because we used our quart jars for our 1-to-1 sugar syrup that we feed our bees. Set him right here. By the way, all this stain, I have another video on this. It's actually a stain sealer. It's from Vermont Natural Coatings. Vino Farms, they also use that as well. That's another YouTube channel. It protects against mold, mildew. It prevents water from getting into the wood. Everything, the wood will breathe as well. I got a whole video on that. I'll link that in my description so you guys can go look at that too. So far, the Queen Aduna's hive on the end there has been outside for, I don't know, a long time. All these have. And I haven't seen any issues yet. I haven't seen any mold, mildew, no moisture problems inside that hive at all. By the way, the reason I have this on is not because I'm inspecting today. It's just because I am in the apiary. I want to keep protected. But also, we need to switch their reducer to the small opening. The reason we need to do that is because we are going to be getting our 4 nukes for these last 4 hives over here. Alright, let's get back to this. Got our telescoping cover. I've got aluminum flashing on top of it to act kind of as like a weather barrier on the roof or whatnot. Inner cover. You got a deep 10 frame here. Reason, these are both deeps. Both these boxes are deeps. Reason we went a double deep setup for a brood chamber is because we're in the Midwest, but we're like in the North Midwest where it can get pretty darn cold. Where here we have been known to reach -20 in the wintertime, and that's Fahrenheit, by the way. So that's pretty darn cold. So we want to make sure we give them as much food resources as we can so they can hopefully survive the winter. Now one of these 10 frame deeps, of course, uses 10 frames. So we got that right here. And I'll explain why there were no frames in that one when we get towards the end of the video. And then we've got 5 deep frames in this bottom waiting for the nuke. The reason being, I asked the guy I'm buying the nukes from what his nuke sizes were, and he says they're 5 frame deep nukes. So that'll be perfect for us. So then we got our deep bottom, and we don't need this excluder. The queen excluder, I would keep it on there if we were installing a package to make sure the queen stays in the hive for at least a week or 2. But because we're doing a nuke, we don't need it. I'll be removing, you might be able to see in the video that these other 3 have the queen excluders on the bottom as well, but I'll be removing those today after I'm done with this one. So we don't need this. We'll probably use this next year when hopefully we'll get ourselves a honey harvest. Alright, now let's put this back together so you can kind of see how it's going to be set up once we get our nukes. Now, I'm not going to just go ahead and put the box on top of here, the second box. It's not going to be on top of here right away because, I mean, you probably could put your jar right on top of the frames, but I don't like that because that leaves a huge open space where they could just build bird comb wherever the heck they want. So what we did with Queen Aduna, and it worked out well for us, what I'm going to do with this one, is our inner cover is actually going to go next. That way we can set the jar of feed right here, and then that whole shebang will be protected by setting the next box on top, and then your telescopic cover. Just like that. And it's always a good idea to make sure you square everything up once you put it all together, or try to get it as square as you can before, like each piece, get as square as you can before you put the next piece on. So then basically, that's how our hive is set up for Queen Aduna. She's got full 10 frames because she was a package colony, and we're getting a new colony for these 4. So we're only putting 5 empty frames in there. They'll have their own, and from what I was told the other day on Messenger, and when I called the guy, is that he's already seen the queens laying eggs, so they're ready to go. And I'll be picking those up in a couple days. I'm real excited about that, and you'll see the video on that. Now, the next thing you need, an entrance reducer is important for a few reasons. One, it'll help keep a draft of wind or whatnot out, but 2, it'll help the colonies guard their hives. So what I'm going to be doing with all of these is we're going to be making it the small reducer. Now, in a previous video, we switched her Queen Aduna's to the bigger reducer, the 3-inch size. But we're going to bring it back down to the 3/4 inch size. That way we can help try to minimize any kind of robbing event that might happen. So, we're going to put our reducer in. All it does is go right here. Right there. And then, there it is. If you got a little bit of a gap there, just find some like thin strips of wood or some grass or something to shove in there to kind of close the gaps. The bees will eventually kind of close that off themselves, and they'll leave the one entrance open. One thing to do also, I liked what one guy did that I saw, is he left his reducer just a little bit shorter than the entire width of the opening. That way he could wedge a stick or something in there so it holds it nice and tight, but he can also pull the stick out later when he needs to move the reducer or switch its sides. Now here's what I'm talking about with the sticks. Using that one, this is going to kind of aggravate the hive. I'm going to make all the guards mad. See if I can get this out. There we go. Here they come to check me out. I'm going to orient my reducer back to where the old opening was. And just push it right back in. That way they know where to land when they come flying back. It's already right where it used to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and wedge these smaller pieces into this. First I'm going to do my end here. Sorry, girls. I know I'm disturbing you. It's late for us to be out here, for me to be out here anyway. This will help you for when we bring the nukes in later. Alright, should find another slat here. Still bringing in pollen. Got her bloomers on, showing off there, her pretty yellow. There, I've got a nice wedged in there. They'll kind of go through and they'll either propolyze it or put some wax in there to help seal it the rest of the way up. I'm seeing ants on here. Not very much liking that too much. I'll have to do some research in that to see if that'll be a problem or not. They're on the outside of the hive. I don't think they're a huge issue for bees, but I'll look into it and see what I can do to do some kind of ant prevention. Alright. Reducer switched. Alright. Hopefully, in this video, you guys learned kind of some of the components that are needed for Langstroth double deep. When this is full, it'll have 20 deep frames in it, and then this inner cover will be under the telescopic cover. Alright guys, I'm hoping this helped you out somewhat. I'm going to go ahead and move her reducer back to the 1-inch opening, and I'm going to get out of here. It's starting to get light a little low. We've only got maybe an hour or two daylight left, and I hope I helped explain some things for you guys if any of you were wanting to get into this and or just want a little bit of information on what y'all need. This is a Langstroth double deep setup, and I'll pray for your guys' family. Keep praying for mine. I hope you guys are staying healthy and well whenever you are, wherever you are, morning, afternoon, and night. Keep on keeping on. We'll catch y'all later.